Welcome. It's the Matic. It's the illest blood in the land. Welcome back, Legends community. It is Ill Blur Matic 365, or you could call me Ill Blur Matic. The choice is yours. Today, I'm back with a new video, and today's new video is actually on something that I learned recently that I was even unaware of as a gamer. When it comes down to it, one of my favorite Sega franchises almost died 10 years ago. And what is Ill Blur Matic talking about? Sonic the Hedgehog as a gaming franchise was not doing really well 10 years ago. And today's video is to talk about why and what took place, why Sonic the Hedgehog almost died completely as a gaming franchise, but also what games and also what else helped it to become and still relevant till this day. All right, so let's get right into it. So in the 90s, Sonic had the popularity. The other thing was a change within the job setting when it came to the people that were working on Sonic, confirmed by the head of Team Sonic. Some of the people that worked on Sonic in the 90s actually left. Also, this game franchise received some backlash as well when it came down to it too. And honestly, I'm kind of glad I did a video on this. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I learned a little bit that I didn't know about Sonic as a Sega mascot slash franchise when it came down to it. But also, there were a lot of bad games coming out from Sega when it came to Sonic, all right? So the first game I actually owned on the 360, and to me, it was actually a fun game. There were some things I didn't really care for about in the game when it came down to it, and it's no other than Shadow the Hedgehog. I am surprised by this. I thought for sure this would be like a successful game. Apparently, this game was not well received, and honestly, I guess people were more interested in another Sonic game. Could that be a possibility? Maybe. That was something I enjoyed, getting plans to say with Anti-Hero besides in Sonic Adventure 2. And I guess it just didn't work out. That's why we probably didn't get a Shadow the Hedgehog 2. Now, the next game was another game that I actually really enjoyed, despite the actual training thing and some of the missions they did. It's no other than Sonic 06. I put time and hours into that game, all right? I enjoyed the storyline. The tutorials were a bit annoying in the game, which was really annoying. I like that you got a chance to play with not just Sonic the Hedgehog, but you also played with Silver the Hedgehog, Shadow the Hedgehog. It is probably a long Sonic game. I think it was one of the longest Sonic games during that time, but I really did enjoy the story element, us playing with other characters besides Sonic, and even not just the Hedgehogs as well. And I thought it was a well thought of game from Sega, and it didn't do well either. Man, wow, that's crazy. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, that's crazy. Now, the next game is something that my cousin owned. You know what I'm saying? My young cousin owned at the time, and it was Wave Riders. Sonic Wave Riders. It was all right. I get what they were doing. It kind of gave you like you were riding on like surfboards, you know what I'm saying, on an obstacle course. It was kind of like, in a way, and maybe I don't want to compare it, but like a Mario Kart, but with like boards. You were riding on boards with other characters from Sonic's universe. I didn't really care for it personally. I played it, wasn't necessarily my thing, and that's all right. And then you had this game, Sonic Boom. Sonic Boom was also another game that did not work out in Sega's favor when it came down to Sonic games. I didn't hear much about that game. You know, I knew it was on the Wii U. I believe it's on the Switch as well, but I never heard anybody really talk about that game. I only think I knew one person at the time that knew about the game and was telling me about it. Other than that, I didn't know many people talking about Sonic Boom. And maybe there's a reason for that, right? And then you had Sonic All-Star Racing, which I thought, to me, was a good game. I liked that the vehicles had transformations in the game. It was kind of similar to like, and I don't want to completely compare them. I'll just say it was a little similar or influenced by Mario Kart. That's what it was giving me. It was giving me Mario Kart vibes. Wasn't it a great racing game? I would say it was somewhat decent, but I felt like there were some things that were missing, like key components. I like that you can play with other Sega characters within the Sega gaming world, you know what I'm saying? And I thought that was really cool. Overall, I guess at that time, Sega just missed the ball with that game as well. I thought it was actually somewhat of a decent game. I mean, you got Team Sonic Racing that's a lot better. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. It's a lot better. But for the time it came out, I actually thought it was an okay game. It wasn't bad. It wasn't like worst game of the year type of thing. But hey, that's a whole nother conversation, right? And those are the games. And there's another game too. You'll see it. You know what I'm saying? I forgot to mention that. So, but let's talk about what actually saved Sonic as a gaming franchise. And you know what? This is why I tell people all the time. Sometimes when it comes to video games, just go make video game movies. Because let's be honest, all the Sonic video game movies that came out that were live adaptations were all successful. From the first movie that I went to go see in theaters, from the second movie that I saw on Amazon, and the third one that actually did really well. The Sonic movies actually probably brought back the popularity for Sonic. You know what I'm saying? When it came down to it, for people that are younger that hadn't grown up on Sonic. And I think that was a great way. I love that video game adaptations sometimes actually have an advantage because now you're introducing new gamers into this world and also this character, Sonic the Hedgehog. And this actually helped the franchise as a video game franchise. Now, the other thing that saved Sonic as well was the older games that came out on the Sega Genesis, the Sega Saturn, right? And it's no other than Sonic Mania. And I think that worked out because the only console that I owned that was Sega was the Dreamcast. That was the only console that I owned because I didn't own a Sega Saturn or a Sega Genesis. And I think that was very strategic to reintroduce all the old Sonic games, Sonic and Knuckles, Sonic 1, Sonic 2. Then there's another Sonic game as well that was introduced as well too. And I said, you know what? They introduced them on the newer consoles. Like I said, the Switch, the Xbox, the PlayStation. And I think that was a very clever move that Sega did there. So you know what? Sega, y'all are smart. Y'all realize a lot of people wanted the nostalgicness and they wanted to see it on the newer gen consoles. That was a very clever, smart move. I'm actually happy to hear that this is the reason why Sonic is still thriving. Because at the end of the day, we almost had a franchise that was completely gonna be gone. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure Sega would have had to find another mascot for Sega because Sonic was failing 10 years ago. All I can say is I am definitely surprised by this. I didn't know Sega was trying like this. Sega was risking it, balling. They was out here risking it. It is the hardest working blur on YouTube, guys. You tell me in the comments, are you surprised that Sonic almost died as a franchise 10 years ago? And my next question for you guys is, are you surprised on what actually saved Sonic as an actual gaming franchise? It is the hardest working blur on YouTube, guys. Thank you so much for commenting, liking, subscribing, and also don't forget to fully watch the video and also hit that bell if you want to stay notified. It's the hardest working blur on YouTube, guys, and I'm out.